We are live. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, wherever you happen to be. Welcome to another edition of Living World Darkness Rage Across New York. The scene is set in the northern half of the Sept of the Green, the northern half of this very, very invisible and sheltered world that lives just inside Central Park in one of the bigger metropolitan cities of the northern hemisphere. But we go ahead and digress a little bit. We're going to go ahead and focus the action on one, well, Calls the Fury, who is doing her own thing, starting to scout out the northern woods. She may be looking for denning material. She may just be wandering around the territory that she would go ahead and have and make. And what she hears over the wind is a grunting sound, a striking sound, somebody breathing quite heavily, as well as the general smack, smack of leather on stick action. And she spies and comes around to one of the training areas, actually, where she will go ahead and see one Lucas Mathis. Probably, let's see. Yeah, let's go with shirtless. Currently practicing some stick fighting on one of the training dummies. You can see a bit of finesse there, but it's all just pretty damn rote. Basic action, very, very basic strikes. Nothing too advanced, but executed quite well.
She will have, followed the sounds and she will approach the area where she can see the one she's met as Lucas before. And she'll sort of pause and then approach a bit closer and just sit herself on her haunches and just watch him for a minute, not wanting to disturb him, but watching his actions with the stick and his wooden thing he's holding and hitting this approximation of a human with.
You go ahead and watch as he shifts position with the staff once or twice. You can see him using his hands, those that form made by the weaver, with those thumbs that latch on to the stick once or twice. You can see him strike out at the dummy's head, and without too much longer, you can see him breathing heavily, and I almost smacked my computer. That would have been bad. Eventually, he's going to go ahead and get more and more exhausted as the training goes along. He goes about, well, 5 or so odd minutes before he either notices you or goes ahead and looks in your direction. With a really, really heavy, heavy breath, calls Yuff. How goes it?
The day has been mm, acceptable so far. Nothing of note. I am curious though. Why do you feel it is necessary to hit that human structure with the branch?
Uh, Dear calls. I'm actually practicing fighting using this weapon. The dummy is helpful. It tells me where he can go ahead and strike. He goes ahead and throws another swing there.
But it
You can
has
see the
no edge.
muscles. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
It has no edge. Surely, if you must use the weaver's tools, which I understand are sometimes necessary if you insist on fighting in the human form, surely you want at least an edge to replace your claws and teeth.
Eh, if I am to take down one of Gaia's enemies, I've got my fangs, I got my teeth, I got my hands, I got my claws. But this is for myself. It's a little bit of meditation on non-lethal takedowns. Whack again.
And in a maybe timely fashion? Who knows? It just seems like a good moment to do so. Maeve will come a trotting from another portion of the training area that dedicated to long-ranged things, archery and whatnot. And she is probably looks a little special. She's trotting along in Lupus with a pair of javelins clasped in her maw, and most likely has her shadow with her. Most likely they were talking previously, and he's, if he was willing, maybe carrying a couple more, because it's easier to carry that in Lupus, split the burden. And she'll trot up to whatever the nearest weapon rack and go to tilt her head sideways kind of comically to prop them there before glancing towards the other two and giving her ears a pick. She's still a little bit away. You there, Mark?
Cause will be.
Yeah, I'm there. I just thought that you.
Okay.
Okay, sure. Yeah, I'm here. Adam will. Adam had the reason I didn't answer first is because I had originally planned for Adam to be following Maeve, but
oh, okay, you can come in a different way.
But when you mentioned Lucas, I was like, okay. So Adam will.
I said her shadow. I meant you.
Oh, no. Okay. Well, in that case.
He's already in the scene.
Yeah, I was a bit confused there. So fine, good. Well, Adam is actually following Maeve, and he's also trotting up to the two already present Garou, and he would probably know at this point, but I don't know what a wolf does for a friendly greeting of someone who he doesn't really know all that well. But that's what he does. Calls. He looks at Calls and he nods politely at her, and then looks at Lucas. What are you doing?
Practicing, he says, as he goes ahead and jabs one of the ends of the spear. No, there's a staff right at one of the knuckle joints of the dummy, and when he does so with a precision and force that just goes ahead and pops the joint. The fake limb doesn't go flying, but definitely goes ahead and sags down as you see Lucas go ahead and slap himself in the face, going, "Fuck."
Blink.
He juggles.
And for the sake of leading by example, Maeve will go ahead and trot closer, and once she's in a polite proximity of probably closer to Calls than to Lucas, since he's in the midst of training, she'll do the flap.
Everybody do the flap. And Adam does the same. Follows. Adam learns by example, so he follows the example.
Yeah, when Adam had first arrived, Calls' ears were somewhat to the side and confused at what he was doing, and had slightly picked herself up off of the ground, and her tail was going up, and she was beginning to puff herself up just a little bit.
Mm.
But as Maeve comes over and flops over and Adam follows, you can see her ears go forward and be a bit more neutral, and she watches them both to see if they move, and when they don't, she first goes over to Maeve, and she's going to lick Maeve's muzzle and have a good snuffle around her ruff, and sort of gesture for her to get up. And then she pauses a bit before she goes over to Adam and is watching to see if he's going to do anything else. And
He's just...
Sorry, continue.
I was just saying that he was just gonna stay as he was. He's not going to do anything stupid.
If he stays there, she will approach him more cautiously and do a lot more sniffing first, and then give him a brief mouth of the neck and let him back off. But she's keeping a wary eye on him, but she turns to the others. I believe we have seen each other before, but not been, perhaps, introduced only formally and in brief.
And Maeve will wait until Adam has been given his cue to rise to do the same herself, just to make sure, because again, she's noticed that he learns better by example, so she'll pause and wait until he's given the cue, and then go ahead and scuffle up to her feet, give herself a little bit of a shake, a little bit of dirt flying. Kalshra, I am Maeve MacFionn. I am one of the Seps cubs, Fianna Stock, born on 2 legs. The urge. And she'll glance over to Adam.
And Adam will his head will be okay. I am not sure what wolf behavior is, so I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do, and then I can reroll character. Adam will Adam will have his head hanging a little bit in not total submission, but respect to his superior, and he will say, "I am Adam McGee, born on 2 legs of Fianna stock as well." He says, "Under a gibbous moon."
And a cup.
And a cup. Yes.
She will. Her ears are pricked forward at Maeve, and her lips curl just ever so slightly at Adam. It's alright. I am Coles the Fury, as I am sure you have heard. I am Clea Galliard, born on 4 legs of the tribe Black Fury. I have recently come here. I understand you are both cubs, and that you do not have as much experience of the 4 legs here. Tori has told me as much. It is important to learn as cubs. Your wolf is just as important. Adam, you should be careful. You should follow your friend's example. While she still has things to learn, she clearly has perhaps had more practice or more awareness of the lupus kind than you. But we are what we come from and should not be forgotten.
Yes, Raya.
What brings you here? I see you have more of the sticks, although yours have sharper ends on them.
I was practicing throwing them, Raya.
Yes.
They are a good weapon for fighting at a distance, and perhaps it is not the same with all crescent moons, but I am not especially robust. I often find myself best suited to assisting by flanking or going amongst my friends rather than my enemies and offering healing rather than damage. This allows me, hopefully, to deal damage without depriving Gaia of a warrior.
The second half of your statement makes less sense to me. Maybe it is more of a Homid thing. But the first half, you depreciate your actions as flanking. As a pack, only a few go to the front. The others must come round the side. Most wolves do not fight things alone. Why would you depreciate your value as a flanker and see this as lesser? They are equally as important. All must act to take down both predators and prey.
Her ears tip about thoughtfully, kind of swiveling while she's processing the pretty upfront chide. And she'll bob her muzzle. It's very true. I hadn't thought about it that way, perhaps.
You are a cub. You are not yet pack. Maybe you do not. And I understand. So they tell me, the sisters told me that for some reason two legs did not see pack as much value, or was not as easy to see how pack works together. But when you have your pack, I hope that you will see more value in all of its members.
My pack will be my family. I have less doubts than I did when I first came here and did not understand what it meant.
Pack is life. Pack is... Yes, they called each other sisters, but not litter mates, you understand. Those not of litter, they may be, but pack is what helps you survive. Pack is what makes us strong.
She'll bop her muzzle again. It's obviously kind of a carryover from the Hamid gesture.
Whilst it is not a gesture that she'll naturally use, she's probably seen it enough times to kind of understand what you're trying to convey.
It's obvious enough that she can't think of any other way to make a gesture to confirm that she hears and understands. So it works.
Do you plan on throwing those sharp sticks with your jaws? Or do you...
Oh. No, I wasn't Hamid. I was in Glabro, but...
It is nearly the same.
Yeah. A little bigger, a little stronger. The extra oomph helps.
I imagine it would. But for cubs, you have also then not been here long, you say? What do you find of this place?
No, I have been here several... She'll kind of think about it for a second. 4, maybe 5 full cycles of the moon at this point. So I have had a chance to settle in. Adam is much newer, much younger, at least in his experience here. And
yes. Oh, sorry.
it is not the home that I was raised in, but these people are my extinct. So I have been, for the most part, very comfortable here.
You plan to...
And with at least... Oh, sorry.
Sorry. No, carry
on. My first den father, the one who was here when I first came, was Lupus. And so I have done my best to find balance between what I've lived for many, many years longer and what I've only lived for a couple turns of the moon.
Adam will nod at this and will say, I, as Maeve said, I'm even younger than she is, and I lived longer, much longer. I'm assuming he looks over at Maeve as in Hamid form before before finding out what I was. I apologize if I misstep. I do not mean to, but this is new and strange, he says.
She looks like she's slightly more relaxed now, and she's lowered her posture a bit more towards you. What you were before, that is before. It is what you do now and what you do going forward that matters. If you choose to learn the things you need to learn and to act in the way you need to, and then and do what you need to for Gaia, then this is what matters. Before is before.
He signals understanding. Yes, Raya, he says.
Lucas may have had this conversation before.
He may have.
Oh.
He is a sneaky
Oh.
fucker.
Don't worry about it.
Okay.
But what do you see? You think you will choose to den here to make pack here?
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
Hmm.
At least with the people here.
Adam nods as well.
This is good. This is if you have become attached to this place and you see others here as your pack mates, then you will defend this most important place better, as I have seen in my short time here, the horrors that beset this place, and the importance of this place, and what must be defended here.
And for the sake of having it noted, Maeve is exhibiting proper signs of not like over exuberant submission, but she's definitely got her tail held low.
Yeah.
Her
Yeah.
fur slicked. Her posture is a little bit. She's not skulking, but her posture is a little bit low. She's trying to set a good example, glancing over to make sure that Adam is mimicking bits of it.
Yeah. He is.
What you can probably tell from Coles is that she's not even really looking potentially at you anymore. She's looking slightly off, and her whole body language shows this is something that she's slightly tenser, her tail's up a bit, and her hackles aren't up, but you can clearly see she's almost as if she's ready to spring to action at any moment. This is something that she perhaps is almost slightly single-minded about.
For sake of argument, can we say that Lucas, after making a note, probably with the kinfolk that man the station, that they need a replacement dummy, and getting a T-shirt on, one with a hilariously embroidered unicorn on it, for shits and giggles, he'll go ahead and return to the circle and pretty much sit in, well, if you were looking at clockwise and Call is currently at the 12, let's go ahead and say that Lucas goes ahead and sits at the 3, cross-legged with his stick.
He'll be greeted with bounding as opposed to proper submission because it's Lucas and she's older than him, damn it.
You'll definitely get a few pats to your ruff with the helmet hands. Scratch, 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 pat, pat.
Coles
And she'll plop down on her haunches alongside him.
will look at this display, somewhat startled. But when Maeve flops down, she'll move over more cautiously. As she approaches Lucas, she will have her ears forward and just look pretty neutral, and just go to rub her side of her neck again, like rub past him, and then go back to her original position.
Cool, cool. I imagine, did you do rubbing them against to go ahead and show greeting, right?
Yes.
Alright. He mimics much the same gesture as much as he possibly can in Hamid, because that's an awkward gesture for him.
As one she's felt pretty good at meeting so far.
So, what have we been catching ourselves up on?
Maeve's gonna point her nose at Mark. or at Adam, since he's back to answer.
To answer the question he didn't hear because he was just away.
The question of so what did I miss essentially?
Oh, not like talking. He says.
He goes ahead and looks at the two of you. You are both of the Gibbous Moon. When two Gibbous Moon go ahead and gather, there's often a lot of storytelling.
Yes, as my fellow Gibbous Moon, would you say you have good stories of this place?
Adam says, I have been here. I have not been here long enough to have many stories, Raya. He says, but there is a certain place in the. He would know where Belvedere Castle. No, that's just Fianna thing. Sorry. He would. He I haven't been here long enough to have gathered many stories yet, he says, but I have a feeling about this place that is that much can be made of it.
For the sake of provoking story time, Maeve will point out you have been to Wolfholm.
Oh, yeah,
If
Adam.
Wolfholm causes ears go completely back, and she looks incredibly startled.
Yeah, Adam. Adam looks like Adam gets the wolf equivalent of 1,000-mile stare and said, "Yes, yes. I don't know how that could have slipped my mind. It is on my mind every single day."
And Maeve will glance to Call, and again, she actually is very much physically at ease, hanging around Lucas. But she will seek to explain, saying that several of the cubs angered the warder by acting grossly inappropriately. As a result, the cubs were sent to Wolfholm to learn how to behave and to learn to understand those of the Sept who were born on 4 legs instead of 2. We all went.
I've heard tales of your warder. They both here and before. He is well known and respected. He is, as I understand, quite harsh, perhaps. This does seem quite extreme to send so many cubs to Wolfholm. And perhaps almost reckless. Maybe either you must have been, please excuse me, hopeless, or one of you must have angered him very much.
Adam will say, I didn't. I would like to point out, Raya. He says that the incident in question happened before I even changed the first time, so I had nothing to do with it as such. He looked over at Maeve with a kind of a questioning look as far as how much of the story he should tell.
Maeve will probably said glance onto Lucas since he was actually there.
Yeah, Lucas was there. You go ahead and see Lucas. He's currently sitting down. He's alternating the staff from left to right, sort of passing it on the ground, with the one end on the ground. And he goes ahead and says, "One fine day, my brother, under Gaia, decided to do something extremely foolish. And he did not share this plan with any others, not even to himself, because the plan was so crystallized and expertise in his mind. It was too big of an idea for him to go ahead and fully comprehend himself. But he was wandering along the Sept, He goes ahead and looks to the two Gibbous Moons as he's telling this story to the Gibbous Moons. How do they react to him starting up?
If the other Gibbous Moon was not there and you were, then perhaps in this case we should still listen to the story and learn it. If he can learn it for himself, then maybe he will retell it in future.
Sorry, Anne, that was more an OOC question.
Looking to see how they reacted to the Ragabash telling two Gibbous Moons a story. Maeve, however, has settled in for story time. She probably has Jen propped on his knee.
We want to hear that the OOCs want a Gibbous Moon wants to hear them as much as tell them.
All right. The Ragabash goes ahead and continues. So, my dear brother and Gaia decided to wander the Sept, not really having too much of an idea where he was wandering. And I saw him. I saw my dear brother and Gaia wandering. I called him over and asked him how he was doing, what was so heavy on his mind. And we sort of talked about the things that Gaia calls us to do, our duty, and how strange and interestingly different, weird even, this new world we had come into. And I tried to reassure him that it will be all right. He can go ahead and adapt. He can go ahead and change. By his own spirit heritage, he has already had to go ahead and grow up and change. And so we continue to talk, and we met one of my sisters in Gaia, Miss Cinnamon Harris, Ragabash, Silverfang, Cleith, Hamid as well. We started to talk about the different things, the global hand, how kings should be running their kingdoms, how peasants ought to respond to their kings, what knights are responsible for in the in-between. And as we sort of went ahead and talked, we had ourselves a very, very nice meal. And all the while, my brother and Gaia, that idea becoming even more solid in his head, but too big for him to think it consciously. It was like a dream that he could only go ahead and reach out. But he had this idea. He had this wonderful, wonderful plan that was just there. And you notice that Lucy goes ahead and reaches up to the sky as if he's trying to grab something that just isn't there, like a fly in the wind or leaves that are falling. Oh, I dear wish that my brother and Gaia would have shared his grand plan with myself and my sister, Miss Cinnamon Harris, but he chose not to. We started to wander again, and we wandered on one of the many, many paths that our warder, Teetha Titanium Raya, Athro, great warrior to the nation, born on 4 legs of the Glasswalker tribe. We saw him at a distance, myself and my sister, having known a few things, having at least been taught by our den father, when in doubt, roll the fuck over. So, just wanting to pass, not really having too important a business, walked around, fell on our backs, and waited to be recognized. We went ahead and identified ourselves, and my brother, oh, my sweet brother, it was about this time, this exact moment, when that dream inside started to filter on through into his head and into his mouth, because apparently there was a question, there was a lesson that my brother needed to know that could not be taught by the Den Father, Olaf Raya, at the time, that could not be taught by the Wormfoe, Travis Raya, who he has been in touch with, and none of the other Garu in the Sept could go ahead and help him with. No. He had to go ahead and walk up to Teetha Titanium Raya and ask his questions. And the conversation did not go well. The plan inside his head, so dreamlike, started to break apart piece by piece by piece by piece by piece. And I could see it. me and my sister could go ahead and see it. Me and my sister were pretty damn sure that we were going to lose a cub that day. For what he did was so impossible. So impossible that even today I fail to believe it all happened right in front of my eyes. My brother, Ingaya, decided to insult Teeth of Titanium Raya, decided to question the honor of Teeth of Titanium Raya, and just as icing on the cake, the final insult that would put not one, not two, but 3 silver scars on my den father, Albert Fay went ahead and turned his back on Teeth of Titanium Raya and was not immediately mauled in front of me. Instead, he was disciplined, he was scarred, he was taught to remember, and to go ahead and teach us and the rest of the Cubs, as well as Albert Fay, we were to be sent to Wolfholm to get in touch with our wolf nature immediately.
I am, in all honesty, surprised he is alive. I am perhaps then less surprised at the group punishment if for some reason he felt this is something that may be replicated or a problem with the rest of the cubs in this litter. But you so far have not shown it to me, so either you knew before or you have learnt since. Maybe Wolfholm was lesson enough. But I am surprised that you say this Albert still lives. Wolfholm perhaps is not the punishment that would have been laid down by my Alpha, but for she would have killed the weak one. She would have killed the one that puts all at risk. She may have still punished the others, perhaps not this punishment, as a lesson, but I am surprised he still breathes. Has he learnt his lessons? Is he not a risk to you all anymore? I should hope not.
The Den Father is responsible for that bit of progress report.
Of course. I do not mean to step on your Den Father's toes. I am just surprised at the differences.
Well, I don't think that you'd be stepping on anybody's toes. Just gonna go ahead and say I can't give you a detailed assessment on his progress.
He has not spoken to me since we returned, so I'm not a very good person to speak to on it either. It does help that previous to this encounters with Teeth of Titanium Raya, the freshest of the cubs had not even been taught yet to bare throat or roll over, and as such did not do so when they came upon him. And following Albert's mistake, another cub freshly brought to the sept decided that if Teeth of Titanium Raya was the strongest and most fierce and most respected, he was clearly the person to personally approach for training.
I will not. I struggle to perhaps find the right words for you, as I have not spent any time really with you two cubs. You do not seem as idiotic as you suggest the others are, but is there some kind of mental deficiency amongst your cubs here? Do they not have a survival instinct?
It is not so much a lack of survival instinct. Even the first time that I met Teeth of Titanium Raya, I had not yet been taught about rolling over. I had been taught to bare throat, but I had not been taught that, and it is not a Hamid gesture. So I imagine that he was already irritated when we did not know the proper form of greeting and submission. And on top of that, to have Albert, for whatever reason, do what he did. She just kind of shakes her head a bit as if to clear it. I think that he is one who is not accustomed to directly and so sharply seeing consequences for his actions. Even after doing this, when we knew that this fate was upon us, he seemed very irritated and very confused by the fact that we did not receive him as kindly, knowing he had said that in front of us. And I honestly have to say that perhaps the fact that he has not approached me since is the better option, so maybe he has learned. I don't know how I would respond. The only one who was in that place longer than me was Chino.
You have many cubs here. Maybe that is a factor. And so many two legs. So many two legs. But all of those I have encountered and went with on the mission so far seem to have strong survival instincts and followed their instincts well, and so maybe I am yet to see this, but maybe some of your actions confuse me still.
I am glad to go ahead and say that the mission was a success. We were able to retrieve our sister and Gaia, and there was only one casualty.
I was not aware of any casualties.
Unfortunately, my bag went ahead and had to give up and give the ultimate sacrifice for my own skin. It will be remembered.
Did your bag possess a spirit?
No, but it was very, very useful.
Lucas is very fond of these bags that he has prepared with things that may be useful in a given mission.
You are so attached to these Weaver tools.
I find them very, very useful. I discard things that are unuseful.
They are some of the Weaver objects indeed may have a use. I would be personally wary of becoming overly attached to anything of the Weaver, or so attached that you must rely on it. Then, if you rely so much on that, surely you may forget what you do with your paws.
Oh, absolutely. One bag is not worth the skin off of my back or my forearms.
The thing to consider perhaps is that much of the time these missions take us into Weaver territory where we have to be very careful to remain in our Hamid shape. So these tools make up the difference for not being able to use a stronger, perhaps more efficient at the time shape because we have to keep the veil strongly in mind. There are many, many Weaver eyes all over the city. And seen by any of them would break the veil.
The Weaver tools are required on occasion. I do not deny this. There are times when to best fight the worm or to best fight the Weaver, we must use their tools and we must use such things as we have, and they are the best things. However, becoming attached to them is to allow the Weaver's webs to wrap itself around you and to allow them to have presence in your mind and to have attachment to your mind, and the Weaver, and therefore you give a piece of yourself to the Weaver. This cannot be acceptable.
Okay, I'm good.
Goes ahead and says, no, I think the glass walkers would just love to hear this rant. He goes ahead and says.
And maybe because that was just one success, I'll say has with the constant like Weaver is getting a little on edge. She's not getting up, but she's kind of bristled a bit. She's not hackling, but she's clearly uncomfortable.
Adam looks over at Maeve. Are you alright?
Trying really hard not to think about something. Give me a second. No, distraction. Distractions are good. Raya, would it be rude of me to ask about the spirit that accompanied you when you came here?
Adam looks over at Coles, still in his somewhat submissive pose, as before.
At the mention of her little companion, she is somewhat distracted from her previous focus. She will perk up slightly, and her ears will twitch towards you and definitely seem more alert and accepting. My friend is with me still, though you cannot see him here. He came with me on the mission. You may have seen it in evidence.
I did.
He was... My mother was like you. She shared your calling, and it is a tradition amongst some of the Furies to find a spirit, to ask a spirit to watch over those young, particularly those of lupus birth, that are precious to us, and to ask a spirit to accompany them through life, particularly before their change. And little Flame, or as the sisters called him, Calcifer, is mine.
And Maeve has perked decidedly. She's still laying, but her head's finally up and her ear perked, and her fur is slicking back down to a more mellow mood. I've heard of a kinfetch before being bound to a child. I've never heard of a spirit that follows them past first change.
I believe the word used is in Newman. I do not understand all of the spirits, but he is just a small little spirit. He follows me, he protects me, he may on occasion lend me some of his strength or some of his powers.
She has definitely taken interest. I will have to ask Chases Raya about it, about Newman. I have never heard of them, and he is amazing. I have spoken to many spirits, but none would follow me as loyally as Calcifer follows you.
It is, I understand, a special right. I think other tribes do it too, but as I understand it, it is one particularly valued by the spirit speakers amongst my tribe. And it is not something that is asked lightly, but with things as they are, it is important. But if you wish to know more, I would speak to Yes. If you know a more knowledgeable Thayed, then they will, I'm sure, be able to tell you more. Next time we are in the Umbra, I'm sure you will see Calcifer again. He is always with me.
Would it be rude when that happened to speak to him? Does he dislike being spoken to? Anything like that?
He is not necessarily. oppose the conversation. He does not regularly speak. He is the spirit. But if you wish to try and communicate with him, that is your prerogative. And it is his choice whether to respond, not mine.
I just didn't want to step on your feet if I did it. Sometimes I get a little carried away when it comes to spirits, especially new ones.
If the time is appropriate and you wish to attempt to speak to him, then his choice to respond is his own. I think perhaps if you choose your moment, then perhaps he may reply. If you decide to try and speak to him at a point that is inappropriate, I may be less receptive.
I understand. Pleasant change of subject. Yes.
He is, I will warn you, perhaps. He is both a fire spirit and one who is, I believe you would call it, more focused or more attuned to glory. So he is perhaps not the most friendly or conversationalist. He is quite fiery, perhaps. This element represents him well.
As it should. No, I understand. I will only do so when it is appropriate and with all due respect, of course. Seriously considers chewing on the staff because it's there.
Probably could grab it.
So is he still doing the little juggle back and forth thing?
Actually, right now it's more seated across him, like horizontally.
She's gonna give in to impulse and not like gnaw on it, but go to like set her maw around it and just kind of grab it and give her head a bit of a wiggle.
Adam does the
You go
dopey
ahead and
doggy
wiggle
grin and looks at him and says, "How about a contest instead?"
Quick, are you?
By doggy grin, he means the stupid expression that Maeve does. So
Okay,
like the big
clarify.
open mouth dopey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As a
Yes.
clarification, it's the tongue lolling out rather than the showing the teeth.
Yeah. He has learned that lesson already. Don't smile when there's a lupus present. Bad idea.
Okay.
Better idea. Don't actually smile ever. Only make your stupid face.
Yeah, exactly.
Tongue lolling will be greeted bemusedly, but fine. But yeah, don't show teeth, please.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yes, she wiggles the stick.
Counter wiggling, raising it up and up. Up. If you still got it, you're gonna be stood up. And you're still
Adam's
grabbing
tail
it.
starts to wag.
It goes up even more. And if you want to go ahead and keep your jaws on it, you're gonna have to go on your tippy toes.
She's locking on it as hard as she can, and as he starts lifting it up, is going to not growl, but like the puppyish little growl. So the little higger, but certainly not anything that could be mistaken for real aggression.
Right. The end of the stick, while you're on your tippy toes, goes ahead and does a little bit of a counterclockwise swirl around Lucas. The end that you're holding goes up, up, above his head, and currently he's just sort of like leading you along behind his back, left to right.
She's gonna kind of try to set her back feet and give a bit of a haul, give it a good tug, see if she can pull him over backwards.
Oh, you want to turn this into a tug of war, do you?
Yes.
All right. You want to
Even
roll
while
dice?
pups play this game, I refuse to be shamed out of it.
Okay.
Would it be Dex or would it be contested strength?
It would be contested strength, I believe.
Strength, I guess, yeah.
Which is funny because we probably have the same with you and Hamid and me and Lupus.
Nah, I just got the 2.
Yeah, I've only got 2 in Lupus.
Oh,
Oh
that'll
wait,
be
no,
interesting.
I got one more this downtime. Yay! I'm so strong.
All you got to do is beat 1.
Oh, come on. Nope, she just straight up loses it. She like goes to do the tug and it slips right out of her mouth.
A sudden jerk.
She flops over instead.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
A sudden jerk from Lucas, and the stick is back in his lap.
And Maeve flops gracelessly on her back, flails her paws around in the air for a second, and finally rights herself.
The end of the stick goes
And
ahead
proceeds
and
to-
nose.
She attempts to look insulted. She's not sure how, but she's trying, goddammit.
Bear in mind, this is the
candle. Sorry, what'd you say?
I was gonna say, bear in mind that this is just behind Lucas. He just booped you on your nose, quite gently from behind himself.
Yep. She, of course, looks scandalized. Horribly scandalized.
Totally
And
neutral.
will turn up her nose. Turn up her nose and trot, like, in an exaggerated gait over to Adam and plop down next to him.
Adam Adam will like gently nuzzle her fur.
She'll give him the token, like, groom lick in the rough.
How about a race, Adam?
I'm sorry, I just realized my dice weren't visible. It was like a 2-2-1. It was piteous.
Oh,
Oh.
God. Adam,
That's why I was
Adam,
like, well, I just lose it and gracelessly eat shit because fuck my life.
yeah, stupid dice. And Adam will look at her with a kind of let's do things right now kind of look, excited, and says, "How about a race?"
And again, she will kind of give him an example to follow when he gets kind of the excited energy about him, but doesn't quite know the gesture to make. She will hop up and kind of hop, bounce a couple steps, and then dip into a play bow.
He mimics her.
So yeah, paws out in front, head sunk down, tail up and waggling.
And he does that as
Want to
well.
race again?
Why not?
She will get
You
a
owe me a
briefly
rematch.
devious expression, then jerk her nose at Luke. How about you race him?
Well, I didn't lose to him yet. I lost to you, and I want a rematch.
At the posturing that's going on, Cause will have got to her feet and will have moved over, and her tail is flying like a nice banner, and her paws are being nice and high, and her ears are forward, and she will sort of parade in front of them and also then trot a few steps as if like, I'll take that challenge.
Yep, she gets a tongue-wall smile because She wasn't sure if Coles was comfortable enough to take that up.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Hmm?
race? She'll glance to Luke as well to see if he's gonna take the bait.
This thing is dedicated to me.
You dedicated a stick?
Yes. In 3 seconds.
I'm honestly not surprised.
Yes, in 3 seconds, the Homid form of Lucas goes ahead and dissolves into the mini. Actually, just dissolves straight to Lupus, and he's already started running.
Ooh, that's cheating.
Yep, Maeve will declare him loudly a cheater and
Yep.
take off after him.
And as soon as Adam can get his dice stream up, he will do the same. Dex Athletics. Ooh, and I now have more decks. Yay!
Dex is always good.
And I am
Dex
in
is
Lupus,
indeed
I just
always
forgot.
good.
Calls will make sure that they are all running, and she will join them. She will not have, as soon as the last one is set off, she will be joining, and she wants to see how those of the new set she is in, potential pack mates and people, how they run.
And that is a moon. No, wait, it's not a total moon. It's a fail though.
Mm-hmm. And Lucas is just, God.
Combination of starting first and just natural grace. He has disappeared. He runs so far away, he turns a bush, and he is gone. You have no idea where he went.
That's an insane dice
I'm gonna
pool,
have
man.
to go with like Maeve like looks back over her shoulder at Adam or something, and then like looks forward again and just kind of scuffles for a second, like what the fuck? Where did he
Yeah.
go?
I don't know, man. That's just... And he cheated, so it doesn't count.
She's
He
gonna
is a
start
ragabash.
snuff. Huh?
He is a ragabash. They should be fast. And they should be out ahead. If Coles is
I'm gonna snuffle for him.
striding quite confidently forward.
Okay. Do.
And actually, Lupus. Ta-da! Damn it! My dice aren't visible, and that makes me sad.
Just, you can go ahead and share your screen.
I am going to, because that was a good roll. God damn it!
Let's go with the
I
start.
don't
That
think
was a
you would
good
cheat
roll
on
to
that,
find
though.
him.
I have a slightly
That is.
What
Sorry, you have a
was
what?
the roll?
a very small sad for my previous dice pool.
Aw. This was my perception primal urge to follow the trail,
Ooh, we
Ooh,
do
chase
that.
after him.
We can.
I do have a specialty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
You bastard!
1, 2, 3.
I was snuffling before you were hiding. Can I say she's at least headed in the right direction?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's only a 1 dice difference. What happens is you catch that Child of Gaia scent on the wind. You know exactly where he should be. You're rushing. You can probably smell a few leaves and twigs he's gone ahead and brushed across. Some thorns he's obviously picked up. He's at that direction.
Yep. Instead of getting discouraged, Maeve just kind of sticks her nose to the ground and takes off again. And yeah, she will snuffle until she starts losing the trail and cast around, snuffling here, snuffling there, pricking her ears.
Coles has been doing her own smelling and sniffing and following as much as she can catch of Lucas's scent as it sort of drifts in and out. But she is definitely sort of letting Maeve take the lead. She's kind of seeing what these cubs can do.
What do you do?
But I think
You have a lead.
we have a lead.
Yeah, Maeve's essentially pointed in the right direction. She got a good nose full of him. It's just that at this point she still can't see him, quote, find him.
Ooh, 1 second.
Let's see.
I will do my thing. What does my thing do?
Heightened senses.
I do have heightened senses, and I do also have wolf sight.
Ooh.
But I can do my heightened senses. Hang on, that actually is a roll. 2 rolls.
Adam just skulks in the background, and if he wasn't Hamid, he would like be kicking rocks and stuff like that. But he's not, because he doesn't kick stuff that has spirits. So he just skulks around, mumbling, "It's not fair," to himself.
Okay, I will roll again. So I get an extra dice to my primal edge, which makes that 4, and 3. So I'm basically at -3 diff on smell and -4 diff with looking for things.
Nice.
And do not forget you already have the negative
when you combine primal urge plus wolf sight, you get like -4 by the end of it.
Ooh.
But my roll was appalling.
Oh no.
Let's pick up the trail.
You go ahead and let your primal senses take over those wolf senses that you've had since birth.
Sorry, let me just share the glory that is this terrible fucking roll to follow up on my tracking. I just need everyone to appreciate the 4 1s here.
Oh, bless.
Ouch. I mean, at least there's the 10, so it's not a botch, but it should be. Like, I feel like it should be a botch, even though.
Yeah.
That's fucking ludicrous.
So,
Okay.
I mean, while she uses her nose, it's her eyes that are really trying to capture any flicker of movement at this point.
Okay. Who is where in formation relative to all the characters?
I'm gonna assume that Maeve got to her stopping point and just hit a wall essentially. So she's just kind of at the end of the detectable trail, going, well, shit.
Yeah. Coles was letting Maeve take the lead, so she's probably just only very slightly to Maeve's side, glancing around to see if she can. She's sniffing the air, but also just trying to catch any movement that she can see in the undergrowth, see if she can see any twitching of leaves, anything that might make it move, movements, and using any of her other senses as well. Her ears are trying to pick up any rustling that would direct her eyes on scent to direct where she should be looking. And she knows her eyes are the strongest in this.
Adam?
Adam doesn't even have anything close to a dice pool that would let him follow Lucas. So he, as soon as Lucas took off into the great unknown, Adam just realized he couldn't follow him and was in the background like, well, that was that race, I suppose.
All right. The 2 more perceptive lupuses will probably notice it before even Adam, as the lupus form of what was this character's name? Lucas just goes ahead and appears, fucking magically, right next to Adam, and Lucas just goes ahead and says, "Who are you looking for?"
And at that, Adam, I don't know if I should. Adam gets a, oh shit, what is this? I don't know if that is a roll for something, but it does like, whoa, fuck, don't do that again, man. He says as he, and at first he jumps up and instinctively.
The answer to that question is, how much does being startled upset you at the moment?
Like, I'm at rage 4, so probably not that much.
It's not how much rage you necessarily have, it's how Adam's emotional state relates to being startled. If being startled is not something that particularly upsets him, then you probably wouldn't necessarily have to roll it. Because even if you
Good.
only have rage 1, if it's something that would really upset you, then you'd still roll your measly rage 1.
Okay. Well, it's not. It's been a couple of days since the whole Senna thing, so he's probably calmed down. So it wouldn't upset him that much.
That's fine.
It's essentially, are you startled, or does being startled upset you in a deep way?
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
Like, is that something that's a character trait? Then you're good.
It's not something that would make him angry as such. So he like, whoa, shit, Lucas, don't do that again, man. He says in a bit of a not quite serious tone, but kind of a okay, that was pretty not cool tone. And he did. I don't know how the fuck he did that, but.
Maeve is going to respond to Lucas popping up a little bit behind her by pointing herself at the closest deer trail and taking off like a shot. Because he's already cheated once, it's her turn.
Oh. Looks to Adam. It's like first looks to Adam. Okay, I'll keep that in mind in the future. Looks over to Maeve. No! Dash, dash, dash.
And Adam tries again to run, and he gets one measly success. He has one athletic and 3 dexterity. He should be able to run some at least, but meh.
Sometimes the dice are cruel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And they're not generous gods.
Cole dashed off and is putting a little bit more effort into trying to. She's gauged them enough to try and prove that herself now, perhaps.
Not too impressive as last time, but at least he's not trailing behind.
So Maeve has cheated her way into a very short lead, but Lucas is keeping pace with her, like, perfectly. Damn it.
Coles is definitely... She's caught up with relative ease and is probably trying to stretch them out a bit as well.
I was going to say, at that point, yeah, Cole's got more than me, so Coles is probably pulling out ahead. Especially considering you started, like, right alongside me. Yeah, you'd be pulling into the lead.
She's not trying to, unlike Lucas, disappear into the distance, but she'll definitely be trying to, at this point, stay ahead of the others if she can.
Well, so far, she is succeeding. Breakneck races through the woods. Yay!
Yay!
Delightful.
Yep. Maeve is having a good old time. The tongue is lolling out. She's going over fallen logs and skittering through dead leaves and kicking up all sorts of chaos. At this point, just chasing Cole's tail since she's in the lead, which means she's kind of picking the trail since this race is clear total bullshit.
And far behind Adam will...
direction.
Yeah, her head is definitely up. She's not tracking anything. She's looking at the path ahead. Her head is nice and up. Her ears are really pricked. Her tail is streaming behind her. As they go charging forward. Oh dear, oh dear.
You just can't catch a break, can you?
No.
Yeah, no.
So, Adam's not falling on his face, but he is definitely falling behind now.
Yeah. He's probably so far behind that he can't see you guys.
On the bright side, with all the dead leaves and stuff not being yet covered too much by brush, you can definitely hear where they're streaking ahead.
And at least he doesn't go full moon. That's something at least.
Also,
Yes.
the North Woods are reasonably big, but they don't stretch forever. And actually, probably get to the boundary of where the Northwoods probably much sooner than Calls would like, as she slows to the edge. It's not. It is a lovely piece of what the wild, but it is not, after all, that big.
One of these days, dear Yoff calls. Why don't we go ahead and find ourselves a long, long, long stretch of beach?
Beach?
It will
is.
skid to a halt alongside her. Sorry.
It's a place where the ocean meets the land, and it has a lot of sand on it.
The ocean is the big water, right?
Yes.
So the edge of the big water with the finer stones, the sand. This is a beach?
Yes. And the beach has a long, long track that you can just run across. Bigger than this place, this piece of the wild.
Is there prey there?
No, but there is another place that is full of prey, close to the beach.
Maybe at some point in the maybe at some point in the not yet now. Maybe. But there is much to do here. This must be hard to leave this place. To leave it when there is so much that threatens it.
I am often called away off the sept, and when I do so, I have to rely on my brothers and sisters to keep it well defended.
This is what the Guardians are for, after all, right?
Indeed. I do actually. One reason I was asking after the stories of your warder earlier. I have heard some, but I felt I had planned to approach the Wormfoe after the last mission, but as there is he is apparently indisposed at the moment and is busy, I feel my next option. I feel I have hopefully done enough to prove myself and my usefulness, my potential use to this sept. So I seek to possibly approach him to join your defenders.
My advice?
Think that
do it on a new moon.
Teethra is very strict, and his punishments are harsh, but especially as one who was born on four paws, I don't think you'll suffer the same struggles as my brothers and sisters have. You know how to behave, you know how to address him properly. It'll be a problem, and if worse comes to worse and have any doubts in it, then you can always go to someone like Olaf Raya or Mikhail Raya or any of the Guardians and speak to them first. Or maybe have one of them that was with us present you to him so that they can vouch for what you've done. I'm sure Olaf wouldn't mind.
Perhaps you are wise to have someone there to present and to vouch for me. It would not be the worst idea. It is, in fact, quite clever. I do not seek to take up much of his time. I merely wish to offer myself as a defender. If there is not a place for me here, then there is not, and I will find another wild to defend. I just felt this was one I could offer my services to. But
Cants her head slightly while she's talking.
But I should hope that, yes, I can present myself better than a cub. Even one perhaps as foolish as the ones you describe.
I am of the opinion that you would do well, and I haven't seen him turn away a guardian yet. And even if he did, it doesn't mean that you can't still guard the sept. It's what all of us do. The guardians are just those responsible the most. So I wouldn't worry about it, but if it did happen somehow, for some reason, it's not like you have to leave and abandon this place. You can still be here and be a member of the Pax or defend the place or whatever suits you. I mean, even when the wards go off.
As you should. I'd all must defend the sept when called, but I had perhaps seeked in my new home to be more proactive in defense.
I'm sure you will be. And
All
she'll
you need
think
to
a second.
do, calls. And here's my advice. Take it or leave it. Throw it out to the winds if you need to. Approach Teeth of Titanium Raya with a sense of confidence. Show your competence. And relate some missions or tales that you have been involved in and how you fought in them. He values competent warriors.
Your words make sense. It would be hard for one to value incompetent warders, but your words make sense.
Now, you all can go ahead and have your fun, but I need to cross these wards because I got a few things I need to get care of. Lucas goes ahead and trots in Lupus a few feet in front of the Cubs and the Gleath. Excuse me. It's been wonderful running with you. Hope to do it again soon.
I have, as before, appreciated your company, Lucas.
I am very, very glad to hear that. Within a few seconds, he goes ahead and takes his breed form, bowing in his breed form quite comically, with 1 foot on the ground, with the Chalagaya stick in his hand along his back, and again, quite comically, goes ahead and brings himself right back up and starts to head on out.
Maybe we'll wait for him to take his leave and glance to the Raya. Glance to Adam.
Hmm?
You know
Adam
what? Now
hasn't
that I
been-
can go in, you want to go to the castle? And she'll kind of glance over to Calls as well. You're more than welcome to come with us. We can always travel through the Umbra to it.
I will leave you here. Your Lucas has given me thought I should consider these before I continue with what I must do today.
Okay. Thank you for running with us.
Thank you, Ryan. Adam says respectfully.
She will look at both of you and then just sort of ease her posture off and step back as if you. It is good to know more of those who live on the set. You have been. You have been good to know. It is good to learn of those who are here and those who can run.
She'll bob her muzzle, and considering that the posture seems to be essentially a dismissal, she'll go ahead and poke Adam with her nose and probably turn in the direction of the castle at an easy saunter.
Yeah. And Adam will follow her.
And if they are heading off, unless would you like to continue, or shall I?
I'm good.
So with Lucas off doing his jobs and Maeve and Adam off to explore the interiors of the wonderful Fiona Castle, and Cole's pondering her actions and how she should best approach the Ryas in the set. We will leave our scene there. Thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. And we'll see you all again sometime.